All right, we now shift to the NFL and quarterback news that broke this afternoon. The Carolina Panthers have traded veteran quarterback Teddy Bridgewater to the Denver Broncos for a sixth-round pick. The Panthers recently acquired former Jets third overall pick Sam Darnold, and they had three other quarterbacks on their roster. The Broncos are believed to still be in the market for a quarterback in the first round of tomorrow night's NFL draft, despite this trade and the presence of Drew Lock. All right, Drink, this trade would appear to leave no doubt that Sam Darnold will be the quarterback of the Panthers when the 2021 season gets going. Who do you think will start under center in week one for the Broncos?
I, I'm a, I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say Bridgewater. Why did I say Bridgewater? Listen, I got it. All Denver gave up was a 6th-round pick, and we both know it's only 7 rounds in the draft. So you do the math and tell me how valuable a 6th-round pick is. Um, but you did give up that 6th-round pick to have a quarterback competition with a quarterback that's already on your roster. Not only that, this is a quarterback that's not expensive. It's not like he's demanding a lot. You just don't feel confident in what he can do, or you want an insurance policy. So if he doesn't do what he wanted to do, he being Drew Lock. If he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, now you have Bridgewater to bring him in, and I got that. I just don't understand why start all this commotion in the Denver Broncos organization or the Denver Broncos quarterback room if you don't plan on actually utilizing Bridgewater. I just got a feeling as long as Bridgewater gets the terminology down pat and get the bases down pat, I don't see the reason why he wouldn't be the week one starter. Now, I'm not saying this is the end of Drew Lock, but I would say a move like this uses a lot of fire under a young guy. If you think Drew Lock is a guy that can get it done for you, he needs to be motivated to get it done for you. This is how you motivate him to get it done for you. And like you said, they still in talks of drafting a quarterback on top of this. So you got to think about this. What message are you sending to Drew Lock right now? Like, hey, buddy, we ain't waiting around for you to progress. We going to get a backup, and we might draft a quarterback. And if they draft a quarterback, we know both of these dudes are out of here. Teddy Bridgewater ain't going to be that much longer, and Drew Lock probably somewhere on the market somewhere in a year or two if they draft a quarterback. So with that said, I'm going to go with Teddy Bridgewater. Here's the deal. We talked about this before the show. Bridgewater has not had a lot of stops that you say, ugh, what did he do there? Ugh, that's an ugly mark on his resume. Yeah, I got what happened last year, but it's reasons for that. So you cannot point out to me a spot, whether that was Minnesota, New Orleans, or Carolina, where he just stunk up the joint. Because he didn't stink up the joint with Carolina last year. That's what people need to understand. They just wasn't never all together long enough for it to really maturate on the offense side of the ball. Now, the Panthers are justified for giving up 2 late-round picks to go get Sam Darnold. One, he's younger. 2, he has more upside. And Sam Darnold do got a relationship with Robbie Anderson for whatever that matters, right? So I understand what Carolina's doing. Carolina's like, listen, we want to get younger. We want to get, we want to have more upside on these key positions, quarterback, left tackle, pass rusher, all these positions. So we want to get younger, and that's what they did. So I definitely understand what Carolina did. And at the same time, I understand what Denver doing. Listen, you know what I'm saying? You got when you got a guy like John Elway, running around sprinkling his salt on it. He know what it takes to get a quarterback going. Now he might not know what it takes to draft the right quarterback at the first sight, but he definitely, I think he know how to probably get light a fire, get something going, and I think that's what's happening here. Like I said, I want to reiterate, I don't think Drew Lock is all the way out of being the starting quarterback week one. I just feel like you didn't bring Bridgewater in here. It's kind of like Fitzpatrick and Tua almost. Like Fitzpatrick wasn't there just to hold a clipboard, and we seen that. Week one, they kept doing this little back and forth game, but at the end of the day, Fitzpatrick was there to do a job. I think Teddy Bridgewater got that same opportunity, and I think he will be the week one starter unless he get hurt or something. He is injury prone. So, but everything to me points to Teddy Bridgewater being the week one starter for the Denver Broncos. What say you?
It could be, but and I have so many things, percolating about the Denver Bronco quarterback situation right now. The whole thing leading up to the draft was, is it Drew Lock or a guy in the first round? I don't think we saw them acquiring a veteran like this happening, and now it's even more. I'm skeptical of this whole idea that, hey, we got Bridgewater, but we're still in on a quarterback tomorrow night. I don't buy it. I don't see, unless Justin Fields is still on the board, then maybe I'd look at that. Maybe I'd look at that. But go ahead.
Let me slide this question into you. Okay, you said you see it being a forfeit. So if you don't see them drafting a quarterback, what do you see them draft? And I understand we got a draft preview, but since we on this exact thing, I just want to make a little context for what you're saying.
Yeah, I'd go. So right now, Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater, I feel pretty comfortable because I would go Drew Lock, unless he just this doesn't motivate him and he just melts down and he can't handle the pressure of some veteran who is, like you said this earlier, he's a journeyman at this point. You can't handle that, then go ahead and get in the back seat. But those two guys combined, I feel pretty comfortable. I don't think we need a third wheel up in here. So I mean, I think they're sitting at 8 or 9. I mean, if Michael Parsons is on the board, I think that'd be nice to, add a big time athletic linebacker to your defense, or, offensive tackle. They haven't, finally Garrett Bowles is out there playing well for you at the left side. They ain't had a right tackle in years. Maybe this guy, Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern, I've seen a little bit about him. Maybe that could be something you do. But I think right now, at quarterback, right today, I'm going Drew Lock, and it's for a similar reason that the Panthers are going with Sam Darnold. Unless you're a no doubt franchise guy who's got the big contract and all that, youth tends to win out among front offices and coaches, because we kind of know what Teddy Bridgewater is at this point. He's a guy who's going to come in, he's going to manage the game for you. He's not going to make mistakes. But he's also not a guy who is probably just going to just wow you and lead you to where you want to go. He's going to have to be supported by, a great roster around him, which you look at the places he's had success. Minnesota, they won a division title up there. And when he had spot duty for Drew Brees, he was very good there. Those rosters were pretty complete. We know Carolina, he went over there last year, and I don't think we really ever saw that being a long-term thing. Carolina, that was a full-scale rebuild. They drafted a whole new defense over there. Christian McCaffrey, he didn't play a whole lot. So I'm not holding a 4-11 starting record last year against them. That was a difficult scenario for Teddy Bridgewater. But I think this situation in Denver is more like New Orleans and Minnesota than it is Carolina. Denver's a more complete team. They're not foolproof, but there's a lot to like about this team. They just got to, patch up a few holes here and there. But I would go Drew Lock because of the youth, because, remember, we talk about it from time to time. Josh Allen, the first couple of years, first year was like, oh, I don't know about this. The second year, it was fine, but then it ends with him, laddering the ball to the referee. Like, oh, I don't know about that. The third year, Patrick Mahomes MVP conversation. Got to get a little carried away with that. But I don't know if Drew Lock's going to do what Josh Allen did. But when I see Drew Lock, I see a lot of talent. But the thing that's just killed him last year was just way too many turnovers. He has to stop that, because this Denver team, as currently constructed, this is a team that can make a playoff spot. They were good. They had a good enough roster to make the playoffs last year. They just got killed by injuries and turnovers. They get some good fortune on the injury front, keep the team healthy, and you don't turn the football over. They got a legitimate chance at the wild card. So I would go out there and start Drew Lock early, but he's going to be on a leash, because when you got a guy like Teddy Bridgewater, who what you're going to get, he's going to take care of the ball. He's going to have and I'm not even worried about the terminology and all that stuff. You got a pretty much whole off season to get familiar with the system and all that. And it's Pat Shermer, so it's going to be bland. So they're gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine with that. So start Drew Lock. He coming out here and he turned the ball over, looking like, he's going out there donating to the Salvation Army. Get Teddy Bridgewater in there and let's move it along. But I see no reason whatsoever why they need to draft a quarterback tomorrow night.